Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I'm here in Liverpool at Olympia. With me I've got none other than Tony Bellew. Tony, it's my first interview with you, so it's a pleasure for me and an honour, so thank you very much.
No one special, mate, don't worry about it.
Well, before we kick on a bit of other things that's happened in the boxing world, I know you're involved in it in the Sky and all that, you know your boxing stuff, but you've just seen is it your prodigy or something like that?
He's my friend.
Yeah.
He's someone I just want to help and progress in his career. Craig's a boy with an awful lot of ability, but just doesn't have the experience to match the ability at the minute. So it's very hard trying to navigate his journey through. He's got a couple of standout wins on his record, exceptionally the one over Sam Bellew, but it's just he's advancing at levels that it's very hard to keep him down. So after tonight's performance, he's going against an awkward journeyman who's very, very hard to look good against. But at the end of the day, I'm happy because a disaster for me would have been if Craig goes in there and gets rid of him one round tonight. I didn't want that. You know, this guy's gone a distance with Tommy McCarthy, he's gone a distance with Sam Sexton, other heavyweights, cruiserweights. So I'm happy he's got rounds in. Okay, there's a few little bits and bobs to work on, but ultimately, mate, he's got to win, and now he will go literally into big fights.
That's the thing. I mean, before that loss back in the M&S arena, I mean, he was on a 7 KO record. I mean, some of them didn't go past the third round, aside from the Bellew fight.
Yes.
So you mentioned that there, the 6 rounds. Obviously, I spoke to Craig earlier, but he said he seemed a little bit disappointed he didn't get the stoppage, but sometimes getting the rounds in is more beneficial for a fighter.
It is, and that's what he needs. He needs that experience. You know, he does lots of sparring in the gym and he gets around here and there, but nothing's quite like fight night. Tonight he's had to learn on the job. He's been counted a couple of times as well, so you know he hasn't gone in there without getting wet. He's got wet a couple of times and he's just had to take some. So ultimately, you know, I would look now to start matching him pretty quickly again, and I want him in big fights. You know, he's had enough fights now and enough time to get used to to know what's expected of him. He's got to, you know, he's got to get used to doing a little bit more distance in fights. So, you know, I think that's only his second time in the 6 round distance, and he's just got to get to a level where I'm confident in him navigating his way through 10 round and 12 round fights. That's all it's down to now.
Well, I'll put this to you then. Craig said that he wants to win a react for Don Smith. I mean, he had to go past 6 rounds yet. Is that a fight too soon, or is that a fight you would like to make?
I'll make it happily, but you know, it's one of them ones. Yes, it's got great bonuses and the pluses outweigh the negatives, but once you're at that level and you win at that level, there ain't no going back. As we've seen, he beats Lily, and that was at like British title level, eliminator level. His next fight he has to come down level and he doesn't perform. So I'm sure if he gets to win of Bellew Smith and the Akbar, his levels will go through the roof and he will perform, but then there cannot be no slip-ups then. There cannot be no going back. So yes, the fight can be done. The Akbar is Dylan's charge, Bellew Smith is Shane McGuigan's charge, and Craig is my charge, and I'd like to believe that Eddie will want to make good fights, and Eddie will hopefully, you know, believe in my judgment and what I'm saying.
Sure you will.
To do enough for Craig. So you know, Eddie's willing to put him in a big fight now, and that's what it's down to.
Definitely. Well, if it gets made, I look forward to it. But I want to get your opinion on this venue. This is my first time at this venue. I mean, I've been to the Echo or the M&S arena many a times, sometimes to your fights as well. But I've never been here before. It's quite like a York Hall feel to it, hasn't it?
It's a very old venue, but it's I've had some glorious nights in here, mate. It's been a fantastic venue. Don't get me wrong, I've had my heart broke here once or twice as well. Well, once only. It's a great venue, really is. It should be used more. It's just a place that it's sweat and sawdust. It's dirty, it's grimy. It's a proper old fight club. It's where you want to come and watch real fights. It's not, you know, your plush place with the lovely seats and the no view. Every view's a good view. You know, it is what it is.
It's like a cauldron, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
It doesn't look like there's a bad seat in the house. Everyone's on top of the ring, so.
When Jazza walks in there tonight, you'll get the full effect.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
You know, you'll really be something else. It's a great venue, mate. I've been here 40 many a times myself. I've been here supporting my friends over the years in this place over and over again. I've seen this place with over 2,000 people in. And believe you me, the noise was unbelievable. The night we boxed England v USA, and the Mayor Khan had his homecoming, I opened the card that night, which was strange. I was a heavyweight opening a card, but they wanted excitement, and I delivered it that night. It was against Tim Skolnick, I believe, and Amir's homecoming was against the American. It was unbelievable. The noise in here that it generated was insane, really was. So this place is a brilliant venue, and I said I just want to see it used more now.
Well, that's what, speaking of Danny Bourne, he said that as well. He said, I think he's had Derry Matthews in here 5 times and whatnot, so he's trying to explain the atmosphere in here to me as well. But I've been to the York Hall, the Ulster Hall in Belfast as well, so it's got a similar feel to it. But
it's a great place.
It's a cracking place. I like these little small venues. I mean, they do bring the fans out and everyone gets a good time because there's not a bad seat in the house. But I want to get your views as well. Obviously, you've retired now, but how do you see the state of Liverpool boxing now?
I think it's great, I really do. All good things come to an end. I have to retire, you know, I've got to look out for myself, and it's a sport that doesn't favour the older guys. It's a young man's game. I'm 36, 37 in a couple of months, so I feel for me I got out at the right time, and there won't be no comebacks. As much as I like to contemplate it and have one last little look, and Joe Gallagher's just said to me, when the winner of this Super Series comes around and someone's got all the belts again, I can see someone calling your name, and it's like, it's not for
me. They always call your name, don't they?
They call my name, I don't know why. I must be someone. I must be someone. I must be a name these days. So it is what it is, mate. But I'm retired.
You bring the excitement. I think that's what it is, and that's what the fans want to see as well. So I think that's what the fighters who call you out want to have, is that experience of fighting you and getting the whole atmosphere and whatnot. So there you go. You are something then.
Big events. I love the big events, and I genuinely love fighting. I miss fighting, I really do. But like
you've got to take the Calzaghe route rather than something that comes back.
I'm done, mate. Once I'm done, I'm done. Like I said, the only reason I've done the last one, it was about legacy and trying to achieve something that I've never fathomed would even be possible. I tried my best, I came up short, and I go out with my head held down.
Well, Usyk's up a heavyweight now, but you've obviously been in with him. Like, how special is he?
Always exceptional.
We see him, we only see him, but you've shared the ring with him. So
he's exceptional, mate. He's the best I've ever faced. He's that good. I'm just gutted. What breaks me out the most is to be winning after 7 rounds and then to get tired. But listen, it's a 12-round fight. It's not a 7-round fight.
It takes one punch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So it is what it is, mate. And you just can't get tired in elite level clashes like that. What it showed me is, listen, I'm a former world champion. I'm a world class fighter. He's of that very small portion of elite level fighters, and when I say elite level fighters, I'm talking he's of the mould of your Canelos, your Lomachenkos, you say then your Usyks. That's what mould he is.
Elite sort of thing.
You've got world champions, you've got top level professionals, but then you have this bracket where they're just special men, and I don't see anybody outboxing that boy, or I don't see anybody beating him. The only thing I see beating him is just sheer size. That is the only way I see him getting beat. I mean, if he went in with Andy Ruiz tomorrow, I genuinely believe he'd make a fool of him. If he went in with, I believe he'd beat any heavyweight of a similar proportion in size, he would make a fool of any of them. But then I just think the real big guys are too big for him.
So
I actually think he could make a fool of Wilder. I think the likes of your Furies and your AJs, they'll jump on him. Styles make fights. When a big imposing guy like an AJ jumps on, I know how big he is because I've had him with me. He's a big dude, and when the likes of Fury, he's huge. When these big men get hold of you, there's just nowhere to go, and he would feel like he really would. And I know it sounds funny me saying it, but he's not the biggest puncher. Yes, he stopped me, but I was exhausted, mate. I mean, I was exhausted.
Is that coming down at cruiserweight after being up at heavyweight for him?
I wouldn't want to make excuses. Listen, I got married in the July. I went on my honeymoon. I enjoyed that. I agreed that fight while I was on my honeymoon.
But you talked like, yeah, I'll take it, fuck it.
That's exactly how it went down. And literally that's how it went down. I found dead. So it is what it is. You come back and you're 17 stone and your honeymoon, you've got to get to 14, 4 in 12 weeks. It is what it is. But listen, no excuses are lost to the better man. Yeah. He's an amazing fighter. I only wish him well in the future. He's brilliant. I'm sure he comes down from a similar weight, to be totally honest.
Yeah. He is a big man. It's the similar stature to yourself, isn't it? You talked about Styles make fight and you mentioned Andy Ruiz. I mean, you were out in New York and saw that fight. I don't want to dwell on that fight too much, but I've read stories that some fighters have said that Joshua shouldn't take the rematch, and some people have said yes, he should, because obviously he needs to right the wrong, so to speak. Where do you sit in that?
It's not that he has to right the wrongs, he has to take the rematch purely based on the fact of if he doesn't take the rematch, he's going to lose all the belts. Simple as that. And then what they'll do is they will freeze him out, he will then become irrelevant. Without the belts, he will be forced out. It doesn't matter how good you are, how powerful you are, who your promoter is. What would happen is if he doesn't face Ruiz in an immediate rematch, Ruiz will immediately go in Wilder because Ruiz is a Heyman fighter, and Heyman and Wilder will make the Ruiz fight immediately, and then you will have one champion, and then Wilder will call all the shots because Wilder will knock Ruiz out. I have no doubt about that. It's just a genuine one. Styles make fights. I do think AJ can win the rematch, but
I was going to say that. Do you think he can win?
It's very dangerous. You know, I don't rule Ruiz out. I didn't give Ruiz not the respect that he deserves. I just thought taking the fight on late notice, he turned up as if he was a spectator. But when the fight started, I watched him against Joseph Parker, and I didn't think he was as strong as he actually was. But listen, he was heavy, and he made his weight count. Every time he got up close, he was relaxed. He was relaxed, and he took one, he countered with one, he done so many different things in the fight, he really did, and you've got to give him all the credit in the world. You know, he didn't fluke it, he won fair and square, and the thing with AJ is he's just got a few things to work on. The most important thing for me is he must learn to relax when you're close with a fighter. If you pent up too much energy or load up on too many punches, it doesn't matter if you're the fittest man in the world, you are going to tire. Yeah. I've watched it with so many fights over the years. There's a reason why the likes of James Toney can have a big belly on him, yet never gets tired in a fight because he's so relaxed. Yeah. He doesn't panic, he comes second nature, block, slip, roll, tuck up, fire two big ones back. I've seen it time and time again now, I'm forever saying that bodies don't win fights. That's a perfect and prime example if there ever has been one. So it's I'd love to see AJ just go into the rematch and treat Andy Ruiz the way he treated Joseph Parker. Put him on a jab, box him. If it's boring, so what? Get your belts back.
Win the fight.
Just win the fight, yeah.
Let me put this to you then. You said that you're tired, you're done. What was if Andy Ruiz calls you out? Would you take that fight?
Andy Ruiz is not going to call me out, and he wouldn't be allowed anywhere near me if he did. So listen, he's a fight that could be a potential nightmare for me. Don't get me wrong, I'd make a fool of him for quite a bit of time. I actually think I could hurt him, to be honest. But
has anyone ever asked you a question?
No one's asked me, yeah.
Would you come back for it? I'm just saying in a crazy world that we live in. That
I promise the kids and the wife make that was going to stop. So.
I know, I've heard some of your radio interviews. You said that's me done, never come back. So I want to get your opinion as well. Sorry for keeping you too long, Tony. Obviously, you were in the heavyweight division. You've fought heavyweight twice. So you've obviously got your eye on the heavyweight division, I'd imagine. So, what's your thoughts on the whole Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte beef that's going on? I mean, you've been in a few beefs yourself.
Do you know what? I haven't really seen much of it because I'm not as potent as I was on Twitter, so I haven't seen it. So you'd have to fill me in with exactly what's. I've heard someone said something about a sparring story.
Yeah, and then Tyson says, "When I see you, we won't need a boxing ring. Next time I see you, we'll just fight." And then Dillian came back and said, "Well, that's what happened." And then Dean Whyte said that if them two ever meet each other on the street, they'll just fight. So it's kind of that sort of. They don't want to box, they just want to see each other and fight sort of thing. That's what the final getting. So.
They'd be stupid to that, something like that. Yeah. They just both end up incarcerated, which is ridiculous. So, listen, things do happen. I've been involved in scuffles and fights over the years. We all have as men. Yep. I wouldn't want to see that go down. Tyson Fury right now is the best heavyweight in the world. I don't think there's any disputing that. I say that because of performances, the win against the Robert. Yeah. The draw against Deontay Wilder, I believe he won, and most of the world believes he won, but it also comes down to the things of just the way he's performed at the end of the day, and after what happened with Joshua and Ruiz, if Joshua comes back and blasts Ruiz out of it, it looks like a blip. Joshua's the best heavyweight in the world again. It's just he had an off day.
It's that simple, isn't it? Sort of thing, yeah.
It is, because it's like when Lennox loses to Hasim Rahman, did that mean he wasn't the best heavyweight in the world anymore? Well, it did for a couple of months, until he goes back and he blitzes Rahman in the rematch. So it could be very, very similar for Anthony Joshua against Ruiz, the way Lennox was against Rahman. We'll just see how it goes. Dillian Whyte, in my opinion, deserves a world title fight. You know,
after Rivas, do you think if he gets through Rivas?
Oh, he's got to be, mate. You know, 600 days as WBC #1. Don't get me wrong, I had to go through 2 final eliminators to get my shot at the WBC title. And I was WBC #1 for a long, long time. But this is what happens. You know, it's when you've got a man like Deontay Wilder at the helm, he's going to make it hard for you to get your shot. And he's a man with a huge ego who doesn't want to bow down to anyone. But you've also got to remember this was a man who was willing to go to Russia for $7 million. So if you're willing to go to Russia for $7 million, or you're not willing to come to the United Kingdom for £15 million, you'd have to ask them questions. So, because all they say is it's all about money, it's all about money. Well, if it's all about money, you're being offered double the highest pace you've ever had.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, mate. Everyone can be a walking contradiction at times. I can also, but when it just comes down to the genuine facts of what's going on, Joshua beats Ruiz. He's back at number 1, and he's back holding 3 out of the 4 belts in the division. If he loses to Ruiz, disaster.
Yeah. What if Tyson beats Wilder in the rematch? Does he grab that number 1 spot again?
I think he's number 1 right now, as I've said. Yeah, I genuinely think so. I thought he beat Wilder, to be honest. But in all honesty, I've never rated Wilder that highly. I just think he's a wild puncher. Don't get me, he's a one-trick pony, don't get me wrong, it's a fucking hell of a trick. It's a hell of a trick, but he is a one-trick pony. You know, I could actually, I'm not sure if I could see Dillian beating Deontay Wilder, to be honest, because Dillian does like to take some as well, so that would be very hard. But one thing I will say is Dillian is far better equipped than Deontay Wilder. It's just that he doesn't have that equalised that Wilder has. Very few do. I think Joshua and Wilder's an intriguing one. It's a shootout, but I just think Joshua is the technically better fighter, and he will pick the technically better shots. And that's what I think will be the difference. Technically, that he would find a way. With Fury, it's like he's frustrated the life out of you because you couldn't nail him, and he's just made a fool out of you, as he done with Klitschko many years ago. So he done the same with Wilder. Made you miss, made you look stupid, slapped you around, tapped you up. Was it great to watch? No, you know. Getting up from the knockdown was about as good as the fight got when he rose like the Undertaker. But the main thing is he hit Wilder more than Wilder hit him. So you know he has to win for me. It's just interesting to see how the future lies now, where he goes. I just want to see the best fight the best, and I think that's what everyone wants. And in the midst of all that, Dillian Whyte has to have a shot. It's criminal if he doesn't get a world title shot within this year. You know, within this year he has to get a world title fight. He literally does. So I can't see the WBC messing around, because I can see what's going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to say, right, Dillian Whyte's mandatory challenger, you've got to face him. But then they'll say, well, the Tyson Fury rematch supersedes the mandatory challenger, or they'll get involved. What will happen is, if I'll bet any amount of money, if Andy Ruiz shocks the world again, they will go straight into unification. Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder, 100%, and that will supersede everything. That will really supersede everything, and then that's what the WBC will force. That's what the other sanctioning bodies will force, and a unification supersedes a mandatory. So Andy Ruiz straight away has a mandatory challenge against Alexander Usyk. Usyk would make a fool of Ruiz. He really would. You've got to understand, this boy's footwork and his navigation of a boxing ring is unbelievable. His ring IQ is on another level.
That's what I'm saying. We can watch it on telly or watch it ringside, but being in the ring,
when you're in the ring with him, I've done so many things to fights over the years, and I've done it to great fighters like David Day. I've done it to exceptional other fighters over the years who have beaten other former world champions, European champions. I've beat them, and the things that I could do to them even quality fighters, making them miss by short amounts with just a little step back, making them feel, you know, a feint or a twitch or a. I was doing them to him for the first 6 rounds, but then as soon as my ass got tired, he does them to me. And he's the only fighter I've ever come across who could do to me what I could do to other fighters. No other fighter I've ever come across could. Even when I come to Stevenson, once again, you get down to 12 stone 7, at 6'3", it's not good. So it is what it is. We'll see how it goes on for the future now. And I'll just watch with prying eyes from afar. I'm happy.
Definitely. When you look happy, you've got a smile on your face. Like I said before at the beginning of this interview, it's a pleasure interviewing you, an honour. So thanks very much, Tony, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Keep watching IFL.
Definitely.
See you soon, lad.